Hello everyone and welcome to round one of the South African simGT Challenge here at Mugello. Our second time we're racing here this week, and I think we're in for an exciting race. A lot of unknowns in this race, a lot of new drivers joining SimRace South Africa, and this is their race to show what they can do. I'm joined by Gert, James and Amrish Seunarain in the commentator booth. How's it going, Gert?
Always nice. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We are about to get going in qualifying, just a 15-minute session. We're about 50 seconds away from that session starting.
I go quiet for an inordinate amount of time. Please excuse me. I'm wrestling with something over here quickly.
Absolutely no problem. We're also joined by Amrish Seunarain in the good commentator booth.
Hello.
Welcome, Amrish.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, pleasure. So we got qualifying kicking off here at Mugello for the second time this week after our South African simGT series split on Monday evening, which saw Gabriel Rousseau taking victory of the top split. And what you're watching here is the second split, the so-called challenge split. At the moment, we're watching Scott Kruger in the Lamborghini, just on his out lap, about to start his first flying lap of the session.
Be interesting to see how these how the new guys to SimRace South Africa fare tonight. Don't expect the racing to be as tight as it would have been in the pro split the other evening, the main split, but still highly entertaining.
I wouldn't be too surprised though, you know, a lot of the guys would be watching, looking at all the mistakes that the guys did in the pro split and hopefully eradicating those mistakes, yeah. Ooh, that's not nice.
As you say, the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a commentator's curse run on Monday evening, which was uncanny. I said something about one driver, and then that driver went off. Said something about another driver, and that driver nearly went off as well. So I'll be careful with my words this evening.
The R8 does seem to be the dominant car this season, as it was brought to attention in the last race.
Yeah, I think Mugello is a track that suits the Audi R8, just from an aerodynamic point of view through the fast corners of Mugello. And yeah, I'm expecting to see more of the same this evening. There's one or two quick Porsches and Mercedes-Benzes on the circuit this evening.
I actually disagree with you. We felt actually that the Lamborghini is, say, the R8 is actually slower on this track compared to other cars versus the other track sets for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
So
well, that's great news for the championship then, going forward. Maybe not so much for you, Amrish, and your Audi R8.
yeah, sorry, I'm talking about the R8.
So you're saying that
I,
the Audi might be slow at the other circuits?
no. I'm saying it was slow. Yeah, we were
Okay,
just fast drivers.
I see.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Blame it, Amrish. Yeah, well, Shane Lopesha's gone to provisional pole position. Just as I say that, Stefan Kotzer puts in a 52.3 and he goes to provisional pole position. Of course, still very early on in the session. We did see 47.4 seconds, I think was the pole position time for the series split by Gabriel Rousseau. So the split slightly or quite a bit off that time. But we may see, perhaps, closer racing or closer lap times in this race, perhaps. But we might see the consistency not quite as good as the top split.
Then again, if you do go slightly slower, you run the risk of not having that many incidents.
Whoever stays clean here will win this race.
The one that makes the least mistake.
Yes. From my experience, I had one off in that pro split race, and to go off slightly for a few seconds, even though you were 10 laps into the race, the field is so tightly packed, you lose like 7 or 8 spots. See, Quentin has now done a 151, so the times are coming down. We have Chad in second place with the 152.2.
Yeah, I'm going to wager that we might see a late 49 here by someone like Shane Lopesha or Chad Cook, maybe. Obviously, Shane up into 51.25 at the moment. Yeah, we're just getting their eye in at the moment, sort of weighing up the car and the track conditions. Working those times down. Of course, the drivers are racing for something this evening. The top 3 will get series split, top split grid slots for the following round at Monza. So there's definitely something to race for in this race. So they'll be all aiming for a podium result.
That is very cool, though.
Why do I get the feeling that this dude is driving with a controller?
Because you're looking at the way it's jerking and turning.
Exactly.
Let's have a look at the steering wheel. I can have a look at the steering wheel. No, it looks pretty smooth, eh?
Maybe he was just checking out his dials and stuff. And
Maybe just giving a good old check before he goes for it.
Does Assetto Corsa have the D-pad assistance like you get in some console games?
I don't think Assetto Corsa's got that. I think not the PC version. I think the console version does have a version of something like that. Yeah.
yeah, apparently that was something that was remarkably missing from Project Cars 1, the first Project Cars. And everyone that is from the press that has tested Project Cars 2 prior to it releasing on the consoles have said that right out of the box, their press versions worked perfectly with the controller. So at least they fixed something.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure that Assetto Corsa's got that. I think this thing was built from the ground up to be driven with wheels and pedals, seeing as it is meant to be more of a hardcore simulation than most of the other titles out there.
Yeah.
Like your Forzas and your Project Cars and...
See, Shan is now 151.2. I don't get to see tires, Jason. Are these guys driving with medium tires?
Yes, we've got the top 6 on medium tires, and then Wesley Delport's on the hards. Ryan here on the mediums, and then the rest are on softs, really. So that's an interesting choice.
I'm missing a name on this list. Johannes Kutsia, he's not here.
Yeah, Johannes Kutsia must have left the server briefly. Maybe
That's a
he's
shame.
Maybe he's busy changing a setup and he'll get back.
That's
Perhaps
a real shame.
a wheel setting or something like that. There's still time for him to rejoin the server or regain his lap time that he's produced.
Did he produce a lap time so far?
Yeah, I think he did, yes. At the very start. But we'll soon see if he comes back and there's no lap time and he isn't. But let's hope that he gets back into the action.
Johannes Kutsia, of course, being an old hand at SimRace South Africa. Had a hiatus of about 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But had a lot of promise in his first season as a rookie, along with myself and some other amateurs at the time. And then, like I said, a bit of an hiatus now for about 2 years or 2 seasons. Now back again. A little bit off the pace, but knowing his consistency, if he gets back now, he's one of my tips for a podium. Simply because of his consistency and him not making as many mistakes as other drivers.
On that note, I'm hoping Shan can hold it off and have the first sub 150 lap.
Come on, Shan, do it. Give us a 49.
Oh,
I
he lost
predicted
some
it.
of the drive.
Yeah, but he's a second
loss.
up on his delta time still. He's
Yeah,
maintained
that's
that. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be a 50 point, and that's pole at 50.2. He needs to go out again. He can do it. I saw a few places where he scrubbed a lot of speed. He was up on his deltas by 1.4 and then he just dropped. Straight away is up by,
yeah, look at that. Made a bit of an error through that last corner off camera. Try and get it back though. Do they have time for another run after this? But Shan is on provisional pole position by 0.4 of a second. I know Hugo de Wit has also got him to take a provisional pole position, but let's see if he can get out in time. He's currently in the pit lane. So if he is to get another lap on his belt, he better get moving and leave the pits immediately.
Yeah, your outlap as well. If you go out on softs, you have to be slower. If you go on mediums, you have to go full out, and you literally have your 2 minutes or 1 minute 50 just in your outlap. Ooh, sideways, and hopefully he has enough fuel and tires left so he can do another flying lap.
Perhaps he's slowing down the car, gathering himself in the car, getting the tire temperatures down, taking it easier through that last corner, just gearing himself up for another quick run. Hugo de Wit still in the pit lane, so I think Hugo de Wit, still in the pit lane, so I think that's him for this session.
He's content with his second place.
Quentin Harhoff is still out. He's on an out lap, but I think he'll have time. Just have enough. Oh, he might not have enough time for another flying run.
No, he should.
We're back with Shan Lopesha, and he is approaching the first corner. He's lost a bit of time there, but he's now gathering now with a better drive at that corner.
Oh, and he puts it in the gravel. That's his session done.
And Johannes Kutsia reporting in the Facebook live chat that he's having a problem with loading up the game, it looks like. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to join this race. So, unfortunately, that's the HRT Mercedes-Benz out of this race, which I was sort of rooting for, being a Mercedes-Benz fan.
I must say, I did test drive that car. I don't understand why you're a fan.
A fan of Mercedes-Benz, the brand.
Yeah,
perhaps not the
GT
GT3 car. Yeah. I'm a fan of it, but in a certain course, it doesn't feel quite right to me. There's a certain way to get it working. Though you need to really stiffen up the ARBs front and rear, and then it starts sort of responding.
It sounds beautiful, though.
Yeah, I know.
Is there anyone on track at the moment that's up on their Delta?
Go and have a look around. Lorenzo's up by almost 2/10, so only in 15th position, however.
He needs to go up by 3 seconds at least, 3.5 seconds.
Up by 7/10 now.
Gert must be quite excited to see that GTR on track.
Not really. I've got a love-hate relationship with that Nissan right now. Still absolutely love the car, but turned into a bit of an animal.
Yeah, Gert is heartbroken and it's been a bit nerfed in the set of course, I think. Is the case, Gert.
And how is it after this latest update?
Yeah, it's not responding to what's like it used to. But then again, it might just be equipment failure on my side. I've got no idea. Maybe somewhere, there are guys that can still get the Nissan around the track quite quickly.
Lorenzo's up by 1.3 seconds in his best Delta time. Where's that going to put him?
Still in 15th.
Yeah, he'll be further down.
No, actually, he'll be up into 14th.
14th.
Could put Cameron as well for 13th, if he can hold it. My maths is bad, it's late.
Lorenzo's going to go 14th position.
And that's the end of qualifying. Is there any drivers out on track still?
Have a look.
Cameron.
Cameron's
is that Cameron coming down the start finish at the moment?
Gonna go find him. Yes, there he is.
It's not improving.
I think pretty much that's your order for the race.
Will Kat take us through everyone? Because I got Indian pronunciation, so I might be a bit off here.
Okay, so from top to bottom we have Shan Loubser, Brandon Smith, Hugo de Wit, Arthur van der Westhuizen. All brand new names to Sim Racing South Africa for in the flagship series. Then we have Quentin Haroff, which is not exactly a new name for people that's been around a little while. Glad to see him back. Very good to see him back. And then we've got Chad Cook, also an old ad at Sim Race South Africa. Stefan Kortze, Wesley Delport, Clifton Bridge, also not a completely new face. Good to see him on the grid. And Ryan Hill making up your top 10. And then we have Gregoire Frederick, Brandon Landy, and Cameron Stone, Lorenzo Lagorge, and Skalk Kruger making up your back 5.
I must say it's awesome to see, Jason, and I must commend you on your work done to see so many newcomers continuously, season after season, coming to Sim Race SA. It's actually quite...
Thank you, Amrish. I couldn't have done it without you and Gert and Vanna and everybody else. But it's certainly coming together nicely. And I'm very excited with how things are going so far. And we'll continue building things and let's see how far we can take this thing. So,
yeah, it's a sad thing. It's like I'm sitting in this GT car on the grid and I just want to drive with these guys. this Mercedes.
I completely relate. I'm not even in a GT car. I'm just in a,
Oh, yeah,
in a
we're at
stock
GT cars.
in a stock Merc.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, we are going to remember to leave the grid as well, so we don't put some moving chicanes on the main straight.
And look, obviously not knowing teammates, you know, who's teammates and who's not teammates. I now see on my screen there's 2 Porsches here. Are they teammates?
Yes,
Yes.
they're the same color.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That is the all-out racing outfit.
One
They're
and
sort of
two.
a sister team to Synergy Racing, which is headed up by Quentin Harhoff. And I believe Shane Lopes is heading up this Porsche team of All Out Racing as a sister outfit to Synergy Racing. So the car is looking very nice indeed. Lovely livery designs.
Very true. True story. Is that also turquoise?
Yes, it is. You're going to have to show your wife this one too, Gert. Or don't show her, so you don't need to pay into a car for her.
Exactly.
They are aware of the rolling start.
Yes, yeah, we're going to leave the grid, of course.
I'll be back in just a few seconds.
So we've left the grid, Gert.
Yes. Must say, we as commentators and our camera crew get paid well to come with SLSs to the events.
Yeah. The touch of class. 4 Mercs for the commentary team. How's that?
SLS though, not even
Things are
like
doing
a,
well, eh?
not even a
No.
C class or
No.
whatever you get.
So Shane Lopes now heading up the formation lap or the pace lap. And pole position, bunching the field. And he will lead the entire field around the circuit. And then until they reach the speed up point, which is the entry to the last corner. But then they'll speed up in single file and start racing from lap 2. That's how we do things here at SimRace South Africa.
Do you think there's any team orders between Shan and Brandon for turn 1? Depends on the drive you get, Brandon.
It could be that Shan has sort of and Brandon have decided to do that. I mean, it'll be a good strategy ploy maybe that Brandon plays the rear gunner and sort of not holds up the field, but just keeps them behind both of them. But Hugo de Witt has shown a lot of promise in the open racing events, and he'll be giving them a good go in the Audi. But great to see 2 Porsches up front. I don't think we had 1 Porsche in the race on Monday evening.
Yeah, there was no Porsches there.
Yeah, so this time it's the Porsche's turn to lead the way. So that's great to see.
And if it stays like this, we'll have them in the next GT Challenge series. Very interesting way of warming up your tires.
Fantastic paint work on these cars. Let's see it in about 20 laps.
I must say, this has been a slow outlap. I think he averaged about 75 k's an hour. So those tires are going to be nice and cold for everyone.
Yeah, we've got the top 4 runners on the hard tire, and then we've got the medium tire coming into play. Which is similar to what we saw in the Monday night split. And off we go. Shane Lopes has got the jump on his teammate. Perhaps it was planned. But Hugo de Witt's already up the inside. Oh, where he was shortly. That's Hugo de Witt in 3rd position. Just gets back in line behind Brandon. He's now under attack from Arthur van der Vester.
Oh my word! Someone's going at full pace into the pitch.
Oh, he's outbraked himself. Okay, off goes Arthur. Oh, we got contact. Hugo
Oh my goodness
takes
gracious.
out Brandon Smith, I think that is. So I can
Good
expect some
sportsmanship.
race investigation
that's-
requests later on, I'm sure.
Oh, and he got smacked
Yeah.
trying to rejoin.
So that hasn't gone to plan.
Maybe a
it is.
little
Bring
bit
it
too
back.
much practice in open servers on the Assetto Corsa servers.
Yeah.
Turn 1 always being a bit of a headache.
But Seunarain Lopesha's away in the front. He's got a good 2-second gap back to Quinton Harhoff. And then here comes Chad Cook in the yellow Ferrari. Chad looking pretty dangerous in this car. Let's see if he can take it to the front. Stefan Kotze in fourth in another turquoise car hat. This time a Lamborghini. Stefan Kotze photography.
A bit sideways there. Heat up his tires. See the Z4 attacking behind.
Wesley Delpit in the BMW Z4. He's got someone off in the background. Kotze going strong in fourth position.
I must say this Ferrari is like a bittersweet add to Assetto Corsa, because I love it because it's a Ferrari and it's turbo, and we got a Z4 in the center of the track.
Wait, who's that?
Ouch.
Yeah, everyone's avoiding action. There's a BMW on the apex. It is Ryan Hill. He's got it all wrong. Down in 14th position, but he does rejoin with not a lot of damage, I don't think. Luckily for him.
Ryan Neal's, of course, good enough to make up quite a few positions there in the front.
Yes, and quite a nice livery on that vehicle.
We all know that stripes and stars on a car make it quicker.
Yes, it's the gloss paintwork. It's more aerodynamic.
Yes.
More slippery.
Yes.
The matte paintwork creates way too much drag.
Chris Heineke just saying in the YouTube live chat that a lot of rookie mistakes. Perhaps the cold tires coming into effect here. It could well be. Brandon Smith now down to 8th position after starting from 2nd, so slightly out of pressure, slightly out of position. Let's see if
I'm sure he would have received a lot of damage though, especially to the rear. Hopefully his rear wing not, but there we have a position. Oh,
that's the thing now.
And the R8 has gone off. Hugo got taken out.
That is actually two of the worst cars to have in tow with each other, with the Porsche in front and the Audi at the back, because the Porsche is not as quick through the corners, and there's a very specific way that you need to point that car into a corner and squirt out of it in order to get the most out of a corner. Whereas the Audi is pretty much a point and squirt when it comes to corners.
Nice choice of words for the night.
What, point and squirt?
Yeah.
Squirt being the right foot on top of the gas pedal.
Jason, is it possible to go into some in-car footages of maybe the leading driver, or just to see the differences between the drivers?
Yeah, we can. Just finish up to see how this battle progresses. We've got Gregor, which he's actually from Mauritius, joining us for the first time this evening. And he's currently defending from Brandon is it Brandon? Yeah, Brandon Smith. Smith has got the run on him and he's passed him. Around the outside. Nicely done.
Gregor lost a lot of pace entering the chicanes. See, he was stuck in second gear for a very long time there.
Going to go back to the battle for the lead of this race. We're now on board with Quinton Harhoff of Synergy Racing. And he is chasing down Seunarain Lopesha.
In the absence of a Johannes Coetzee, Quinton Harhoff is probably my pick to win the race. Obviously, I would love to see a new guy like Seunarain Lopesha do extremely well. But Quinton Harhoff has got the experience. He's been around the block a few times, and he probably has a few tricks up his sleeve in order to force mistakes on the car in front of him. Stay behind him for an extended period of time, the mistake will inevitably happen. Unless, of course, Shan's got something up his sleeve. And unless he's maybe got the temperament of someone like a Gabriel Rousseau that basically shuts off anything that happens in his rear mirrors.
Yeah, I must say though that Porsche has great drive on the long straights.
It's a quick car. It's a very, very quick car.
And I see Quinton's car is very lively at the exits of corners. Hey Kat, there's turquoise on this R8 as well.
No, I can see it. I can see it. It's a great... It's basically a turquoise explosion. I got my wife to do the color coding for me.
Is that her favorite color?
By far. Everything is turquoise. There's days where she goes to work with turquoise earrings, turquoise handbag, turquoise clothing. We had money, we probably would have had to have spray painted a Nissan turquoise.
Yeesh.
One of the only turquoise Nissans in the country.
I'm laughing too much, hold on.
Hey, glad to see someone finally did it. I always wanted to see a old Godzilla with an actual Godzilla on it. Look at that
you're absolutely
livery.
right. I didn't notice that, Kat.
There's an actual Godzilla on Godzilla.
There's an Easter egg. Hey.
Were you sleeping last season when I was your teammate? Because I had a Godzilla on the side of my Godzilla.
No. Sorry. I'm talking nonsense. I'm talking nonsense. Yes, there's a Godzilla. There's actually a difference between Godzilla and King Kong. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. That's King Kong on the side of that car. Just now, the comment sections of these broadcasts will go absolutely bonkers with me not knowing what the heck the difference is.
I don't wonder, but I had a Godzilla on the right hand side of my car. Nice big one as well.
Yes, you did. You did. At the very least, it looked like a big ass shadow of a Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what I aimed for. I see Quentin closes down Shan a bit during through the quicker paces, and well, as I said, that Shan loses it and loses all his time.
And that's not exactly the kind of thing you want to do in that Porsche. That Porsche is so dependent on taking care of the tires. Any sudden movements on the steering wheel will see you overheat the tires.
You can see by the way that car is sliding about now. I think his rear tires are hot at the moment.
Because Shan's on the hard
left as
tire
well.
and Quentin's on the medium tire. So there's a bit of change, different strategies happening here at the same time.
Shan must be hoping that he could keep these tires on for the duration of the race and just have to pit for fuel. Quentin getting a much better drive off that last turn now. He's even up on his delta by 300s.
That was a roll.
Oh. He calmly collected it, didn't he? It's quite impressive.
Absolutely. That
Yes,
is.
I thought he was going
That's
off.
the difference between being an old hand at somewhere in South Africa and someone that's doing it for maybe the first time.
There was no panic there. Just collected himself and just brought it back on the black stuff.
And he actually made up time.
He did. Very impressive.
Let's see how Shan is with dealing with pressure. I hope he's not looking in those review mirrors.
If I'm Quinton Haroff right now, I would not try anything. Not a passing move, nothing. I will literally sit as close as I can without disrupting the car too much in the dirty air behind that Porsche. I would sit as close as I can, get the best possible drive behind that car that I can, look after my tires and wait for the mistake to come. That's what I would. Because unless Shan has got nerves of utter
There we go.
steel, a mistake will inevitably happen.
It looks like Quinton's gonna get the drive if he gets this last corner right for the straight. The Audi should easily pass that Porsche there.
Should he?
Oh,
no!
cameraman!
Oh, what did you do?
Whose fault was that?
No.
I think it was Quinton outbraked himself, but he didn't wait, so I don't know if he felt it was not his fault.
I'm not so sure about that. I am very, very willing to say straight out that Quinton may have been at fault there.
Yeah.
That seemed like a massive lunge on the inside.
We have Clifton, who has left the server.
That's our first retirement, unfortunately. Clifton Bridge has left the server. But yeah, I suspect I might be receiving a race investigation request for that incident.
Oh, well, you're going to receive quite a few, actually.
I think so. That's probably the fifth one this evening. But we'll see what happens and have a good look at everything. And yeah, the rule is at SimRace South Africa that if you feel that you do cause an incident, which can easily happen in a race, of course, you can you can wait for the other driver to rejoin in front of you. Or if you feel that it wasn't your fault, you can carry on and then sort of risk being investigated and then receiving a penalty, either a time penalty for the race or to be penalized in the following round. Quinton seems to be pretty sure that it wasn't his fault, so he's continuing.
But I must say, though, knowing what it feels like to get taken out, Shan is going to be driving on edge. He's going to want to catch Quinton no matter what.
This is the battle between Wesley Delport and Brandon Smith. Of course, Smith started from second position and then fell down after that turn one incident. So both all-out racing Porsches have suffered incidents, and they are trying to recover.
Brandon Smith does still a drive so far, though. He is making up places constantly.
I do apologize. The team's name is actually Against All Odds Racing. So.
And today they were against all odds.
Yes.
No, the odds were against them.
Yeah.
Of course. They brought it on themselves.
How is he on the break?
That'll be my conclusion in my race investigation. No.
You asked for it when you chose that name.
Yeah. So yes, it is Against All Odds Racing, so I do apologize for whatever name I was calling them before. Please forgive me, it is a new team at SimRace South Africa. I'll get it right for the next couple of races, of course.
Yes, please, Jason. We've already established that the Commentator's curse is a real thing.
Yeah, see, I was trying to mix up the names so they wouldn't be cursed.
And it didn't work.
I noticed Chad dropped down from 3rd place to 7th place when we weren't looking.
Yeah.
He's coming under attack from the Mauritian, not the Martian, the Mauritian.
Can have a look. And,
at the same time, Cameron Stone is on the back of the Martian. Sorry, Mauritian.
Yeah, it's Nissan against Porsche and Ferrari. 3-way battle for 7th position. Stefan Kotze in 3rd position, having a nice little run there, keeping out of the action. Currently in 3rd position, 10 seconds off the leader. And on point for a series split grid slot for Monza if he keeps going on like this.
Is it Monza or is it Road America or Atlanta?
Should be Monza next.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, I do the calendar, so I should know these things. It should be the Monza there. I'll check. I'm also
I've also noticed the older you get,
The
quickly
Mauritian
you
at the
forget
moment.
certain things.
is on a flyer, is got out of the toe of the Porsche to make the pass. Oh, sorry, is that Cameron?
That's Cameron Stone
Yes,
putting
Cameron.
a move nicely.
Oh, he ran wide. Can he? Yeah, he held it off.
You can actually see the difference here. The lines that the guys drove on Monday evening has been basically from the outside of a track into the apex. Very simplified, but from the outside of the track into the apex and smoothly out of the corner onto the outside of the track, outside of the corner. Over here,
Example.
you can actually see guys hitting apexes too early, not using all of the track on the outside, putting their wheels over the outside of the track more often than what they should. Obviously, it doesn't make them bad sim racers. It's just that these little errors might hamper or hinder them from getting into the main split more often than not. I mean, again, Cameron Stone, that's a very, very good example of that. Drifted way too deep under pressure. Nice apex in front. Or too much of the grass on the outside, or on the inside there.
This is in fact Monza, is round 2 of the simGT series.
Again, very
Too
deep.
high.
Very, very deep. The kind of thing that costs you seconds a lap.
Lucky for him, though, he's the Mauritian behind him is not pulling off the apexes as well, so he's actually opening up that gap. But then again, he ran wide. Do you think is he on the medium tire?
Cameron is
briefly
on the
tested.
medium. Yeah, they're both on medium tires.
I briefly tested the medium tire, and the medium tire actually felt quite good on that.
Yeah, the medium tire is good. The softs you can't drive with most cars. It's like a single lap and that's it, done. It doesn't finish, it just gets too hot. Ooh, missed the apex by a track length.
Hugo de Wit has just flown past.
Yeah, I just
It's almost like Gregor made space for him and said, here you go, please pass. Off you go. Hugo is on a mission now. Up to
Yeah,
9th position.
he got taken out at the start, right?
Yes, so perhaps a bit of red mist is now powering his comeback. He's on a mission. He's pulling away from Gregor at a rate of speed, and now he's going after Cameron Stone. He wants a 9th position as soon as possible.
He's driving some good lines, and I just noticed Cameron is very wide everywhere, and he's even now off the track. Just Hugo should wait for the start-finish straight, which he does. He backs off early.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Is he going to try and go on the inside?
Very over-eager. He actually
Ah.
compromised his corner exit there, and he probably is not going to catch Cameron Stone down the straight now. Simply because he was way too eager to try and get the inside line there instead of being just a little bit more patient.
Yeah, just wait for him. Follow him onto the straight and then easily pass.
And I think we've lost
Oh,
Quinton.
there goes Cameron. Off
We've
track.
lost Quinton Haro from the timing screen. Our leader, and he is not registering on the server for the moment.
Shan is now in pole.
Oh, he's down to 7th.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he's down to 7th, so he must have had an incident or he's fallen off the circuit.
Maybe
Down to
did he maybe
7th?
not go in for an early pit?
Can we switch to third place?
Yes, we can.
See, there's a battle between him and Stefan.
So we've got a change in the lead now. Shane Lopes is back in the front. Stefan Kotz is up into 2nd.
Shan will be
Steph-
delighted with that.
So Stefan enjoying his good run further. And Arthur van der Vesta is up into 3rd. Into that all-important series split grid slot.
But you have to admit though, stellar drive from Brandon Smith. He's already back into fourth and he's chasing the guys down. And
What on earth? The wheels on the tarmac.
Yeah, I think watching a lot of these guys on board with him, they are sort of overdriving the car, sort of manhandling the car when they don't need to. And that will come with experience later on.
No
just sort of letting the car do their
Absolutely
thing.
no doubt.
Yeah. The Lamborghini just leaves the R8 down behind on the straights, and the Audi should catch it back up through the corners. Let's see.
it's amazing though, because they the same vehicle. In essence, they have the same engine, same drivetrain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think the aerodynamics might be quite different. Would the chassis also be the same on the two cars?
Yep, same chassis. I guess the R8 drives with its mouth open. Maybe that's why. So.
It's a mouth breather.
Oh, big slide here for Arthur. He collects it though. 3 area better 1. 3 area better 2.
Tires are hot now. Ooh.
Arthur is on the hard tire, where Stefan in front is on the mediums.
I will be right back.
Gap doesn't seem to want to shrink between Arthur and Stefan Kortzer, or maybe Arthur is just biding his time, knowing that there's still quite a while to go in this race.
Bit of a slide there for Stefan, but he does collect it, Cat. Good driving. I dare say that Stefan has been the most consistent driver for this race so far. Perhaps Shan has matched him. Stefan just been keeping out of the issues, problems happening on the circuit, accidents happening around him, and just keeping that Lamborghini going.
My word. Considering where he started and what happened very early on in the race, he's actually in with a shout here to try and steal a podium position here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stellar drive.
We've got 36 laps left. There's a lot of racing still to happen.
Oh
who's
my
off
goodness!
There?
Who's
That is
that?
Scott
That was
Kruger.
Brandon. No, sorry.
Scott Kruger was off in the Lamborghini. We're going to go back to this battle. Arthur's got a good run on Stefan Kotzer.
Patience, 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 patience.
Get the drive.
Probably not
There we
going to
go.
beat the Lamborghini on the straight. Let's see what happens. Oh, he takes a body action. Door kicking off here at Mugello.
Wait for it, wait for it. Be patient, be smooth. Wait for it.
Turquoise
Probably
on
moved across too
turquoise.
early there.
Oh, don't make contact.
Don't outbrake, don't outbrake. Leave some room.
Oh, and Stefan nabs it back.
The undercut. No, you're not going to take it.
Of course, this is playing into Brandon Smith's hands, who's watching this from a distance. Stefan's got a big tank slapper there in the distance. He's got back to the battle.
The battle of the turquoise autos.
That
3 in a row.
in the top 4 have got turquoise on them. That's a colour to have in this race.
Oh dear, my eyes are bleeding.
If you were Brandon Smith now, what would be your strategy to catch up to Stefan and Otto and just wait for him to make the mistake?
Oh my word!
Got him. Here comes
Oh,
Brandon
yes.
too. But Stefan moves across to cover him.
Arthur's taking
Oh,
it.
late break. Oh.
What on earth
Huge
is
dive
happening
bomb.
here?
Oh, it's all kicking off here.
That
But
was
this
a
is all
dive bomb
second
if
back.
ever I saw one.
And
This is all playing into Brandon's.
They're scrambling over these podium positions. And of course, we've got Wesley
Wow.
Dalport behind
Is
them
he
in the
gonna take
BMW.
now?
Oh
No.
wow! Oh, that was like late breaking to go outside.
What on
Brandon,
earth is
take it
happening
easy.
here?
With 4 manufacturers fighting over second position. This is fantastic racing. And Wesley Dalport in the BMW has joined the party. The number 79 BMW. It's who's got the legs down the straights now. It probably is the Lamborghini still.
But that Z4 looked like it got a good drive out there.
You must just be careful here that none of them is like the Verstappen of the group. Gonna cop all the blame if any of this ends in tears. I mean, I can already see the dive bomb come here. Around the outside, is he gonna make it?
Try.
If he holds on to it,
Can he hold it? No!
No!
See the R8 squirming there under acceleration. Brandon Smith can smell
Brandon
blood.
must be getting agitated there.
And Mr. BMW Wesley Dalport is smiling from ear to ear, caught up to the battle, and now if he just remains patient, he can gain 2 positions somewhere along the line.
I wouldn't be
Very
surprised. 3.
I mean, as frantic
Excellent
and as
drive, real.
entertaining as this battle is, I'm really, really hoping that this doesn't end in tears for someone.
Of course, this is all playing into the hands of Shane Lopes in the front. He's got a nice 21-second lead now over this bunch.
Too much grass, people, too much grass. The reason there's a curb.
It's nice to see battles like this, though. Just hope it goes well.
Absolutely.
Oh!
No. My
Brandon
heart
got
can't
his
take
lucky
this.
break.
Oh, it first fallen
Oh,
off.
that's
That's a
unfortunate.
pity.
Yes,
That's so unfortunate.
Chad's gonna try and join that party.
Brandon Smith back in third. The second away from reclaiming second.
We should start doing drive of the day awards.
I think this is going to be worse than Monday evenings.
These guys are going to start thinking about sharing a blanket just now, Kat.
Yeah, I was waiting for
No,
the
not
comments.
quite. Not quite, eh? Not quite. There's not a blanket long enough to cover them yet.
King size, king size.
They're going 4 tall into a corner.
You Casanova? And it's Brandon Smith with another attempt, or I think it's actually his first attempt on Stefan Kotzer. He wants his second position back, and that's where he started from, of course.
I must say,
Oh, here comes a move!
Ooh. Wesley is hungry for that position. He doesn't want Brandon to get away.
Yeah, Amrish, I think Wesley was nice and wise there. Sort of, he saw the gap there and he
Yeah, but he
decided against
backed
just
up.
weighing things up. Got a nice stay. Oh!
oh goodness gracious!
I think he's waiting for that start finish. I'm sure he's going to be on the inside into turn 1.
The moves that he just pulled did not indicate that he was waiting for anything.
No, he did. Are you talking of Wesley, right?
I'm talking about Brandon Smith.
No, we're talking of Wesley.
Okay.
That BMW is looking very nice and stable. And I think he's just weighing everything up and just he's just probably waiting for the other guys to fall off the circuit.
I
Except
wouldn't
for
be
Stefan.
surprised
I think
him
Stefan's
being
still
on the
doing well.
inside of Brendan into turn 1 now. He's going to try and outbreak him.
This
Wait
is
for
an
it.
entertaining
Wait for it.
battle.
Ah, that Z4 doesn't have the straight line
Around the
speed.
outside.
Ooh.
Can he do it? No.
Otto just came from nowhere.
And Arthur is back into 4th position and just nabs that position back from Wesley Delport.
No.
And we saw a nice defensive move there from Stefan into turn 1-2, just moving across the circuit to the right, just
And Arthur
blocking
dropped
any
off
kind of
again.
attempt. Yeah, he did. Yeah, this is the consistency thing we keep talking about. You can have all the pace in the world, but if you can't produce that pace every lap, there's no point really. It's something that Arthur is battling with, but he will come right with practice and experience, no doubt. He's showing pace, so that's great.
I must say the times are a bit down on their race pace, I guess because they're battling a lot.
Well,
So if you
the
look
gap
at
between Stefan Kortze and Shan
Yeah.
Loebscher opened up by about 10 seconds over the course of the last couple of laps.
Yep.
Chad Cook's always getting close as well. He's about 3 seconds behind that fighting bunch.
Yeah, he this is playing into his hands now as well, so he can get into that battle for second as well.
How plain is this?
But I must say though, after 19 laps, or 18 race laps, it's quite nice to see the at least 5 cars. Yeah.
5 cars in it for second place.
Because the gaps after that are quite spread, all the way until Brandon and Skulk.
And the way that I've seen small little incidents creep up here, with the cars so close together, even if this was the last lap, I still wouldn't have put my money on either one of these 5 drivers to take second place. So I'm actually quite chuffed to see the next 31 laps and the fight between these cars. Oh, that was a good drive.
Wesley.
There you go. Wesley's taken it. Bounced like a lion.
Nice to see a Z4 on the podium. Chad's closing that gap ever so slightly.
Oh, there's a mistake there by Stefan. Wesley's going to sneak through.
Oh,
Up
my
into
goodness.
second position for Wesley Delport. He's having a fantastic run here at Mugello.
Came from the back.
Run very wide. Just needs to keep it stable now and maintain it.
Well, Stefan Kotz is going to be wanting a good drive out of that last corner and perhaps pass the BMW down the main straight. See if he can do it.
That BMW just seems a bit more stable than the Lamborghini does though on exit. If you look at that gap just opens up instantly as soon as they foot it. But then the gap starts coming down.
I think the BMW might be running a little bit too much aero for that added stability in the fast corners. Because to my knowledge, over the course of the last season that I drove in, the BMW actually gained a little bit in top end, and when run with the correct aero settings, there was nothing wrong with the top speed of that car. It may have been like 5 k's, maybe 4 k's an hour off from what the Nissan ran, but there was nothing wrong with the top speed of it.
Yeah,
The fact that that car was being caught now at the end of that straight tells me that maybe there's just a little bit too much aero on that car to keep it stable in the corners.
I must say the Z4 does love aero though. For the fast bits in between, it makes it a pleasure to drive.
No, look, for saving your tires and for stability in these fast sections, I would probably have opted for exactly the same. But knowing long stretches, you know, and the pace of some of these cars, it does become a little bit of a lottery as to when and how you might be taken.
Well, Stefan needs to keep it clean in the windy bits, because if he can, as you saw in the last lap, he does open up a gap between them, which should be sufficient for him to keep that second position.
All he needs is one lap where he doesn't put two wheels on the grass, on a corner, dirties the wheels a little bit, loses a little bit of traction going into the next corner, where, you know, him getting on the accelerator again doesn't unsettle the car. He just needs one of those so that you can creep close enough for the start of the next
Is
lap.
that your commentator's curse where he just runs wide then?
No, definitely not. I don't curse anyone. See, you need a soul to curse people. I can't curse people. I'm a ready.
So this battle for second is on again. But this is going to allow Brendan.
Oh, catch it, Stefan.
Shane Lopes and I enjoying a 40-second lead gap ahead of this bunch of cars. So Arthur has got a sideways Audi R8 there. I think his tires are starting to give up now.
And he's running on the hard tire.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Overdriving.
Stefan Kotz is the only one of these guys that's on the medium tire. Seems to be working for their Lambo, and as soon as I say that, of course, he almost loses it. So I'll just shut up now.
Oh, come on, Jason. Start commentating on netball or something while we're watching the racing.
Curse ballast.
Brandon is there and Arthur trying to go up the inside. Should have a better
Gregoire
drive
just
here.
overtook Cameron Stone for 8th position. Well done to the Mauritian. Got a lot of time to make up though to get into a top 5. And this is probably not what Stefan Kotze wanted. He wanted to mount the challenge on Wesley.
Oh,
And oh my word, and now Arthur says, I'll have a bit of that, thank you.
I must say though, it's every time those two come side by side on that straight, they touch.
like
It's
a
as if
muscle
there's a
memory thing.
magnet on them.
It's like, I think it's the colors. I think it's that color. It's like it like attracts like. Chad being patient, creeping up ever so slightly.
Brought that gap down from about 2 seconds to about a second now. Very, very patient. Chad's actually in a very good position pre-pit stop. That second gap to 5th, and considering the space between and second, which is a mere 4 seconds, that can easily be lost or made up in the pits. Chad's been around the block. He knows how to do this.
Ain't that Ferrari a 7-speed also?
I have no idea. I haven't driven the
Jason,
car all that
it
much.
is 7-speed,
I'm,
right?
I'm not sure, Amrish. Can't remember now. Might be.
Too many gears.
Good for fuel saving.
They should have stopped at 5. Like all other normal cars.
Oh, he gets a move. Nicely done. By Brandon Smith.
Nice lunge. Made it stick. Beautiful.
Oh, we have Wesley going to the pit, followed by Stefan.
This is going to be so interesting. It's a little bit early though.
Can see if they're getting tires.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Stefan is
Stefan's
now in.
very slow into the pit lane there.
I think he didn't set config.
Could be.
That might cost him.
Would Brandon come out in front of him? Yes, he would.
Wesley's going to
far,
pass him in
though?
the
Oh, sorry,
pits.
Wesley.
So Wesley goes up a position.
It's like I'm dyslexic today. Sorry.
Problem?
I bet you that if this was an error on their part where they did not set their pit parameters prior to pitting, this is the race that will forever change that little behavior pattern. Because now you've lost positions because of it.
And suddenly Chad Cook is all over Brandon Smith, challenging him for third position. Perhaps Chad Cook has decided now this is the time to go for it. Now the other two guys are pitted in front of him.
Is Chad on the medium tire?
Chad is on the hards as well.
And he wasn't in many battles, so his tires should be nice and fresh.
Yeah, I think
and
his
his car looks good.
I think he's been sizing up this whole bat in front of him, just staying out of it. And just, yeah, watching it fall apart in front of him.
I've got this really strange feeling that something special is going to happen here with Chad today.
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him second place or third. The Ferrari just lacks the power on its straight.
Very good under braking. Turn in.
It's
Let's
like
see under
17
acceleration.
k's an hour slower down the straight than the R8.
Chad is just feeding the car into the corners, not overdriving it, nice and smooth. Looking after everything. You can see Brandon falling off the circuit.
He might bounce.
There's a look.
Well,
Just
he's
get him
backs
off
Not
off.
the room
circuit.
that he needed.
Yeah.
Just showing Brandon his nose to say, hey, I am here. You make
that
another
again.
mistake, I'm gonna pounce.
Exactly. He's literally saying, do that again. I dare you.
It's
I
like
double dare you.
it's taunting. It's like he's taunting him now. So, Hat, if you were following a turquoise car, would you want to overtake it, or would you want to slow down to let it go?
I don't care what color it is. Any car looks better in my rearview mirror. Of course I want to overtake. It can be red, it can be turquoise, it can be anything.
No, I'm just
It's
checking.
just
So
gonna,
next
it's
season,
gonna, just gonna look much better in my rearview mirror.
but does it like the color irritate you? Maybe.
It'll irritate me less in my rearview mirror.
But what in case the whole field has that color?
Then I just have to overtake them all. No, I'm actually just playing around. Turquoise doesn't irritate me. It's just that I see it a lot in my day-to-day life. It kind of springs out at you, you know. It's like a ghost coming from around the corner. Wow.
I see Otto now got some clear air. He's managing to put down some decent lap times. His last one was a 151. You got Brendan running a 52.8. And Chad is slightly faster, ever so slightly.
Chad's going to be Chad. That's what he's going to be. He's going to take that Ferrari around this track. Minimum mess, minimum fuss, minimum drama. Wait for a gap to bounce.
And if you think about it, Brendan, I'm sure, does have some damage, so don't know if he has his damage repair on or off. And when he gets back into the pits, is he going to repair it?
That's the thing. There is so much inexperience in the field. I would not put it past a lot of these guys not really have given the whole pit stop thing too much of a thought. And it can be something that can be race ending.
Shan in front is just
I
doing
mean,
a
something
Gabriel.
as silly, for instance, as making sure that when you pull into your pit box, that you've geared down to first gear at least. Something as silly as that can save you a second or two, because if you find yourself in fourth gear when you enter your pit box, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well evaded.
Nice avoidance skills.
Something as silly, for instance, as entering your pit box in fourth gear can cost you about 2 seconds, because now you need to first find out that your car's not pulling out of the pits because you're in the wrong gear. Then you need to quickly shift down to first and wait for the car to accept the gear and then get out of the pit box. So those 2 seconds lost can mean the difference between a fourth and a second place. Right now, as it stands. Maybe not in all races, but it is the kind of thing that can make a huge difference to a podium and not a podium. And when you're talking about the racing in the main split, can be the difference between a 3rd position and a 7th position. Find yourself in the wrong traffic. Don't get the drives that you want. Got the wrong cars in front of you. All the wrong battles. All of a sudden your tires gets wasted, trashed. The result does not look the same as it would have been if you did all the right things at the right time.
And we have someone entering the pits. It's Otto. He's in the pits.
He's from 2nd position. Let's see where he comes on in relation to Stefan Kotzer. He actually missed his pit box there. He put into reverse. Where he comes in relation to Stefan Kotzer. I think he's probably going to make it pretty easily.
No. Is he repairing damage?
I think so.
Oh, he's on his way out. Wesley Delport has lost out there as well. Because he came in from 2nd position.
That's right. We've got another change in the order.
Wesley Delport maybe was a bit quicker back then because he was running a slightly lighter fuel load because he was on the hard tire as well. But if you're coming in for a pit now at 27 laps, would you just switch to mediums instead of staying on hards?
You picked hards at the start of this race. You have to change tires right now. I don't think mediums is gonna get you there.
No, it does. Mediums get you easy 25 laps, 20 to 25 laps.
Yeah, but look, it also depends on your setup. If I tweaked something on the Nissan, for instance, there was no way I would be able to drive on soft tires. Then my tire of choice would have to be medium. But bringing down the cambers on the car, for instance, I could drive on soft tires and maybe gain half a second a lap. Not a full second that you would normally see on soft tires, but maybe half a second. So it all depends on the car telemetry. Now, if they deemed it necessary to start the race on hard tires and you pit at lap 27, then I don't think medium tires for them was a choice to get to the halfway point, and I don't think medium tires would get them 23 laps to the end. Because if medium tires were an option, I would just have gone out and drove the 25 laps with the medium tires and then pitted. To me, if you have to do a tire change after you started on hards, if you have to do one, it would make sense then to go out with the hards if the hards could maybe get you to lap 33, so that you can maybe then go out on medium tires and have a very good gun towards the end. But then you put quite late into the race. Carry a little bit more fuel with you.
I must say though, with With the Assetto Corsa, when your tires drop, they drop drastically, very quickly. Chad is sizing up Brendan.
Hiding his time. Being Mr. Smooth. Brandon, can you smell what the Chad is cooking?
Ooh.
Badum.
Wesley is in the pits again. Oh, is it the first time? No.
No, it's in again, I think.
Yeah, I think that's in again. I think that
So
may have
this
been
time
an error
it was-
with a pit stop.
Perhaps he's forgotten to do something during the pit stop.
Exactly.
Maybe a sort of miscalculation with his fuel load or something like that. Forced him to visit the pits again.
Oh my goodness gracious, what's happened there?
Was that Arthur that just spun around and crashed? Or no, that wasn't Arthur. That was someone else. That was the McLaren. Who's the McLaren driver?
Brandon Landy, I think it is.
How on earth do you crash the car like that?
Yeah.
I guess he got out of shape coming into that straight, and he tried to control it. You heard that song, Watch Me Whip? He
Okay.
was trying to do a Superman.
Dad Cook seems to be the surprise package of this race right now. He is literally just biding his time. He's like Mr. Cool. Watch him.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
not even like forcing it.
There's no jerkiness about it. There's no serious errors about it. There's no... Look, he doesn't get dangerously
Oh,
close to the
both
apex
into
of
the
the exits
pits.
of a corner. But he's not
Oof.
doing anything majorly wrong either.
Let's see the battle of the pit stop.
Let's see how
Brendan
whether
versus
we join in
Chad.
relation to Arthur and Stefan too.
And
Yeah,
here's
our
the
race
thing.
leader's also in the pit lane as well.
Chad
He
would
should
probably
be on
have a
his way
lot
out.
more experience in the pits.
That's one thing, but is he taking on a lot of fuel? Is he taking on tires, more tires? But he gained a spot just in the
He
pit.
sure as damn is not fixing any damage. That I can tell you. Brandon's got damage.
Yes,
And
he
if he
is.
didn't switch that damage repairs off,
Yeah, but he
gonna have
can
a
get
problem.
ahead of. Oh, they had like identical strategies. Chad got some turbo lag there. He couldn't take off.
Here comes Arthur. He's going to take Chad. Yes, he's got
oh, yo. That wouldn't phase Chad too much. Still got a nice handsome gap back to Stefan Kortzer.
But-
And Arthur already put a couple of wheels off track there, so
With that pit time, I'm sure they're taking on fuel
yes,
and tires.
absolutely.
So Arthur would have, well, rubber-in tires or well used tires now, but in a few laps time that will come into Chad's favor.
And in both the Porsche and the Ferrari, it doesn't take too long to get heat into those tires. I mean, it doesn't cost, or it doesn't take too much to get the tires to overheat under normal circumstances. So he would maybe have spent 2 corners getting heat into those tires. 2 or 3 at most. Where's the
Wesley
Delport?
Delport has left the body.
So yet another retirement.
I see Gregoire Frederic Eusebio currently in 7th position. Doing a good job. Is this his maiden race at simGT?
Yeah, it's
At Sunrise South Africa?
Yeah, it's on debut. First ever race.
Good. Awesome. Good stuff.
Signed up today. Fortunately for us, for the field is spread out somewhat. But hopefully Chad could get back onto terms with Arthur. But Arthur is with Brandon Smith now, actually. Let's go back to their battle.
Oh dear!
Oh,
that's so
no.
unfortunate.
Chad
That is,
saying
oh
thank
my
you.
word! Mr. Cool's gonna do it, and he done it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you have to say if Chad was right behind him, he would have been caught up in that. But because he was a bit further
Oh
back.
dear, Chad, don't throw it away. Don't get too excited.
Chad must be jumping in his seat. I knew it. I knew it.
I can see him fist pumping from here.
I did. Did you see someone's hand come out that window?
fist bumping the crowd already.
The
Left
Tifosi's
32.
going mad. The cook Fosi.
I see people are putting money on Chad at the moment on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody soul tears.
Brent, I got $4,000. $4,000 on Chad.
I was gonna say earlier, I wish there was sports betting on this thing.
Yeah. We should
Yeah.
start SimBet, Amrish.
Yeah, because we have to. Because I keep putting my money on F1, and it doesn't work.
Guys, if you ever kick that off, I just want to put it out there while we are on air. I'm for sale to anyone who wants to put bets on. I'm for sale. You can buy me. I will throw you. I will throw whatever. I will take anyone out you want me to take out. I'm for sale. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there.
The opinions expressed by the commentators at SimRace South Africa are not necessarily from SimRace South Africa.
It's not necessarily the
Disclaimer.
views of SimRace South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Views, yeah, that's right.
Oh, putting me in my place. Holy crap. Nah. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit too competitive to throw anything. I mean, I simply can't do a Hansie. Not even when I was playing cricket. Chad Cook now sitting with about a 3.5 second lead. Varying a little bit between 2.5 and 3.5.
Kat, Nick in the chat's asking if your last name is Zuma.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's Zuma's stepson, so he has a different surname.
I'll Soma do it for anything if you want. So it's not completely Zuma. Soma.
It's ANC.
Don't make me come out with my disclaimer again, guys, please.
you need to have that thing
This
written
video
out
was
somewhere.
taken down due to whatever reasons tomorrow morning.
The more commentary we're gonna do, the more weird things we're probably gonna end up saying on air. So you might need to write out a disclaimer, stick it next to your PC, so that you can just start
we can
reading
have
it.
like an overlay in the corner. Like,
No,
so
maybe you
it's
send
highlighted
it off
once
to the
more.
commentators to sign as well before the race. But on a good note, we might get more viewers.
Yeah. You get all controversial and stuff.
Yeah, people will be posting there. I don't want to say what they're posting, but yeah. As Nathan says, can you smell what Chad is cooking?
There you go.
Come on, Chad, you're just 20 seconds behind Shan. You can get him.
But this is a
That's
lapped
17
car,
laps.
so this car should be getting out of his way.
Yeah,
Because
it's
that's
a bit
allowing
slow.
Otto to close him down. Jason, put some blue flags there.
Not speaking about the car in front of him, man.
Yeah, Skark is coming around the corner. He's going to lose it now. Oh, almost. Sorry, Skark. No. Oh, almost.
Don't race him.
No. Oh, almost.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
For anyone watching you being lapped, got a blue flag in your mirrors. You don't have to immediately step out of the way. It's not going to hurt if you do, but you don't have to immediately step out of the way. But when you see the car larger than life in your rearview mirror, realize that you might need to move over just a little bit to let the car through.
But don't you think it's fair that if you held the one car up, you need to hold the second car up as well?
Yeah, only if you can actually time it perfectly. I wasted 1.45 seconds of the other dude's time. I need to do the... Oh, the... Ooh.
No, he was just getting out of the way. He heard you. I think he's got his YouTube on.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt there. It is so crucial that the faster guys must not be held up, especially when there's a battle brewing like this.
If you look at Chad's last lap time was a 53.5 versus Otto who ran a 51.9 just because of the traffic.
That was 2 seconds lost there.
Yeah, now Chad has to make it up.
I don't think Chad's going to have too much of a problem.
I think Chad is going to do just feel that if he needs to be passed, he's going to let Otto pass, because judging from what he's seen already, Otto is most likely going to make a mistake going down the line.
Why am I seeing a traffic sign in the middle of my screen? That's the kind of error that can cost you a lot of time. Having to lift off on the exit of a corner like that, that will cost you down the straight. Few mistakes creeping into the driving, you know. Not keeping those lines nice and crisp through the corners. Everyone still with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm just checking because I had this weird feeling that there may have been some sort of a disconnection. Yeah. Everyone went deathly quiet, like all engrossed in the racing.
Yeah, we
I see
enthralled by
Chad
this
is
battle.
now picking up the pace there. He's going to set his fastest lap time.
Oops, sorry.
He just ran a 52.0.
Yeah. Under pressure now.
Ooh, and he left the door open. Is he going to rely on Otto to outbrake himself? There. Oh, he had to brake. Thought he was going to go the over-under.
Right there in that corner, Ryan is doing something in that corner that's actually costing him about half a second. He's not getting across. He's carrying too much speed in the initial part of that chicane there, and then finds himself too deep, breaks too much speed to go into the right-hander. He can gain so much time if he just slows down a little bit more on the entry to the left-hander. Stay tighter towards the left and then gunning it through the right-hander. And once you get that drive on the car in front of you going towards Arabata 1 and 2, you can actually mount a serious challenge down here in passing a car as well.
I'm not too sure if I was sleeping and I didn't hear you guys. With the other Porsche, Brandon from second place, has he left the server?
I also don't see him.
Would appear so. That's a good point, Amrish, yeah.
Didn't even notice he was gone.
Yeah, same. Yeah. There's quite an attrition rate here.
We are
challenge
bad
split, unfortunately.
commentators.
Yeah.
Let's see if he makes the same mistake now. Can we maybe get a
Ryan.
maybe like a top-down view on the car going into that section on Ryan?
On Ryan. Okay. Ryan Hill, huh?
Yes. Sorry, Chad Cook, not Ryan.
Cook.
What a numpty.
You spoke of Ryan all of last lap.
Yeah, I'm a nutter. Sorry, I'm talking about Chad Cook. Now,
Much better exit there.
much better. Over here, you actually want to delay your turn in. You waited. You actually went in a little bit too soon. You need to come from a little bit wider and then a little bit tighter into that right hand in order to carry as much speed as you possibly can. You need to trust the downforce, trust the mechanical grip. This is one of those corners where you do not want to outbrake yourself. Outbraking yourself by just a meter is the difference between making the actual apex inside that right-hander versus going into the sand. And exactly the same thing for this corner. Braking too early, you need to coast a little bit too much. Braking too late, you're going to be in the sand.
I think he's also putting too much lock on the steering wheel.
I think so too.
Just watching his steering wheel movements.
Okay, now let's see, because this first sector is crucial to a very, very good lap time. First of all, you want to come in from a little bit wider on this corner. Brake late-ish. Don't turn in so early. This is way too early. Wait a little bit, and then come from a little bit wider, a little bit tighter, and get on the gas earlier. Here you want to get in, stay left as far as you possibly can. Come from wide. This is you turned in way too early on that corner. Now here is the crucial one. You want to come from wide, stay tight on the inside, cut as much speed as you possibly can. He's too deep. He's too deep in that corner. You should be on the left-hand side, on the exit of the left-hander, so that you can catch an early turn into the right-hander and get on the gas earlier. He can easily gain another second to maybe 1.5 seconds. Easily. Just by getting those lines right and making use of all of the track. Smooth. He's very smooth. He's Mr. Cool when it comes to driving. It's just he's not using everything on the track that we know he can.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the track tips of the day brought to you by Gert James. And Jason, we have Gabriel asking us for some in-car views, please, so we can see the wheel.
Okay. I've got in-cars in the other stream. I'll bring it to the YouTube one too. So one moment. Let's just do this. We got a request by our race winner Monday evening.
D'Elian.
You guys can just hit F6 if you want to get that view as well. See what you want to see.
Sorry?
You guys can hit F6 if you want to get that view as well, or you can stay as you are now. It's up to you.
I've got a wheel view.
Okay.
A left wheel, front wheel view. Some
You can
press F6 again.
You can press F6 as to what you want to see.
Cool.
That'll be your in-car for now.
Awesome.
And those watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can press Ctrl Alt Delete.
Long press on your cell phone's on and off button.
Gotta get myself some new commentators.
We are way too mischievous.
You want the guys to watch this stream, man?
Yeah, no, we're just kidding. See, YouTube views just went up, so I think people started pressing it and then inviting other people to come join.
Something happened to Shane Lopesha. That time is being cut
Yes.
into big time at the front.
Let's can have a look. Yeah, he must perhaps he's had an off. He's cut his lead in half. If I'm reading that correctly. Yeah, he's got a lot of mud all over the car too, so he's had a trip into the gravel trap. Doing a bit of farming. Oh, it's very dirty.
Let's do a lap quickly,
Yeah.
above the car with Shane, just so that we can see his lines going through these. That's ideal. That's very good. Let's see his turn in here. You want to delay it just a little bit, catch a late apex, but he puts too many wheels outside of the track. Costs him just a little bit of time. Delay it. Yes, that's good. Get on the gas early. Go wide.
That's nice.
Go wide. You want to go from wide and then turn in and trust the grip. That's good.
I found that downshift there, actually you lose time with it.
Yes, but it's also how you've set up your gearbox. If you've set up your gearbox, you can actually shift down. If your lower gear is still in range, go through there. It all depends on how you've set up your gear ratios. I personally prefer not to shift down at all in that corner. I prefer to be in relatively high revs, maybe 90% of the peak of my revs going through there. You want to go a little bit wider, yes, and then come in and then get on the gas early. Let the car drift a little bit wide. Smooth. Get the best possible drive down the straight. People don't realize if you get on the gas too early and you have to lift off again, the amount of time you lose down the straight is so detrimental to a good lap time, and it adds up over the course of a 50-lap race. You can easily, over the course of 50 laps, by not making a single other incident or having a single other incident anywhere else on the track, you can easily lose about half a minute across the 50 laps just by doing or getting on the gas too early and not coming from wide enough down that hairpin.
But he's pretty tidy though.
He is very tidy. Very, very tidy. Big things waiting for Shane Lopesha if he can keep this up.
Now watching the battle for fourth position between Stefan Kotzer and ever nearing Hugo de Wit. So this could be a battle to watch out for over the last 10 laps or so.
I think Chad Cook has actually settled down now,
Yeah.
realizing that a top 3 will get him into the main split next time round, and it's maybe not worth know, trying too many things that can actually cost you that position. Maybe quietly hoping that Alpha will make a mistake all on his own without having to put too much pressure on him.
I don't know, but this black R8 is growing on me, looks-wise. Is the new one not turbocharged by any chance?
No. Normally aspirated.
No, not in the game, I mean in real life.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, we have the Mauritian back.
Trying to put a move on Quinton here. Quinton lost 3 seconds on that last lap.
Oh, it's feeling the
He's
pressure.
under pressure.
Of course, there's a big gap between Quinton and Hugo de Wit, so the cars from 1 to 5 is pretty safe.
Thanks.
But the battle for 6th is definitely the closest one on the grid right now.
Fastest lap for tonight. I think it would be Shan, right? Jason, do you have that information?
No, I don't. It's not offhand.
Race lap or qualification lap?
Race lap. I think it was Shan in with the 151.
It was a 151.2, I think, for qualification.
Yeah, I think Shan ran a 151.7 if I remember correctly. In race.
Quinton is going to have problems here. That Porsche is frighteningly fast.
Ooh, it's under braking.
That's probably where the Porsche is going to lose out a little bit. Under braking and in the corners. Gregoire is showing a certain maturity here.
I'm not too sure how much practice he had. It seems like he's getting better as the race progressed. Like he learned the track and he came into it.
Definitely showing a certain maturity, and the things that he's doing from behind, it gives you the impression that he knows what he's doing. Maybe just doesn't have the setup on that car dialed in properly, you know, like he probably should have.
If you were Chad now, would you just settle in and settle for third place because Hugo is 40 seconds behind you?
You know something?
Or would you push for that 3 seconds for that second spot?
It depends. If my tire's got enough life in it, I probably would push. I can't force Arthur into a mistake. Knowing that I've got a little bit more experience in this than Arthur probably has. Obviously, not assuming too many things. I'm just thinking, you know, similar South Africa experience. But, you know, how big of an incident can you get involved in, you know, and still settle for that third?
Gert, are you reading the Facebook comments?
No.
Nick said that's what she said.
Oh, of course. If you think long and hard enough, everything can be, that's what she said.
We're already into lap 44.
6 laps remain. I must say, Quinton's showing a little bit of resolve here. There's obviously some damage on that car. You know, there's something wrong with that car, but he's keeping it together and he's keeping it in front of Gregoire. At the same time, Gregoire is showing a lot of... He's showing a certain amount of X factor. Showing something.
There we go. And he's got that move done.
Maybe. Maybe. It all depends on whether or not...
No,
oh, goodness gracious.
A hip and shoulder there for Quinton.
This is rallycross at its finest.
I think Chad has probably resigned himself to a third position right now. He's losing a little bit of time to Arthur now. I don't think he's going to push too hard.
Jason, maybe next season we should look at the introduction of a Joker lap.
Yeah, we could do that.
What do you do in the Joker lap?
Take a longer lap.
But how? Force someone to drive around a specific cone on the track. On the grass.
See, that would have been a perfect corner right there. You know, you got all that sand, it's far from the barriers.
And you can actually make the stick.
No moving left. Not bad for the Porsche, not even under slipstream. Oh, it does have the power.
This is where it needs to be patient. Be patient, be patient, be patient.
Quinton had him on the brakes there. Oh, but Quinton runs wide.
Patience is key.
Quite clever by Quinton there. He goes defensive and he just taps off mid-corner and doesn't allow Gregor to come underneath him again. And he just keeps it behind him through that apex. Quite a clever move there by Quinton Haroff. Gregor's going to have to think again about how he's going to get past him. He's got 4 laps remaining. So
but he's got the ideal corner to do it. He knows where he can do it. It's that final corner. It's that hairpin at the end of the lap.
He needs to be on the... He needs to be behind him at the entrance on that final straight, not to the left of him, so he can then jump in and grab the inside line into turn 1.
You know something? He can be. He can be on the inside, but he just needs to get a better drive and trust the car, and trust that, you know, Quinton's not going to do something silly, like try and cut him off. Because if he just goes from a little bit wide, just go that half a meter deeper, turn in, Try and catch an early
Oh,
apex.
He's got him. He's got him.
Okay, now this is going to be crucial.
Ooh.
This
And this is very
corner is
close.
going to set it up for him.
Ooh.
Undercut, 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 undercut. Go, 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 go. And nail it. Trust the car.
Now he accelerated too late.
Oh,
He's gonna have some lap traffic now. There we go.
Yeah.
Finally.
well done. Be patient.
That was like deja vu for the 7th time, but luckily it changed.
There's a textbook maneuver. He's been trying to do that for the last 3 or 4 laps now. So.
Yeah.
But he's got him. Great driving by the man on debut.
I think Quentin overheated his tires because you can see he just dropped off drastically now.
But you can see from the way that Gregoire is driving that this is not his first rodeo.
No.
He's been doing this for a little while. Because some of the things he's done so far on some of these laps, it's something that you learn over time. It's the racecraft that you learn. Anyone can be quick over a specific lap, but there's certain things you do in a race that's going to give you your consistent results. That only comes with time. And he's shown those things.
So this should be an easy win for Shan.
Lost more time to Arthur. Never mind. Timing thing is really bugging me.
Chad has lost a lot of time to Arthur as well.
Yeah, I think
Mugello
concentration. Because there couldn't have been... unless it was lap traffic. That could have come
Chad's
together
car
with
still
him.
looking very clean.
I mean, there wasn't a mark on his car prior to a few laps ago. Maybe there's a little bit of a dent here or there.
No, nothing.
Anything? I don't see anything.